it really does take more strength and maybe even a little bit more energy to be that high vibration, positive person. So know that if you are working on being that high vibration, positive person, that you are incredibly strong and you can only get stronger the more you keep working on that. This is the Energy Within podcast, all about accessing, nurturing, and building your energy and confidence so that you can get unstuck and design your life the way you want. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki master, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode 99. We're one away from 100. I haven't figured out yet how I'm going to make 100 a big deal, but I do realize that it's actually going to fall right around, not on, but right around my birthday, which is August 31st. So how perfect is that? That we're going to celebrate my birthday and the 100th episode of my podcast around the same time. So that's so cool. I'm going to be 22. Not really. I actually am going to be the age that my mom was when she had me. So it's cool. It's fine. It's fine. It's no big deal. I still feel like I'm about 22. Maybe not physically exactly, but my energy, and I feel like I can pass. Maybe not for 22, but maybe late 20s, the way I look. I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is today I want to continue the conversation about being high vibe, having that high vibration, and how that connects to owning your power, owning your energy, maybe taking it back if you've given it away, and how to best take advantage of your own energy and your own power over yourself. So that's what I mean by power. It's only in relation to yourself. This is not about, getting the upper hand with anybody or any type of situation like that. This is all about you taking control of your own life. Just you, nobody else. So the first thing I want to tell you is that it really does take more strength and maybe even a little bit more energy to be that high vibration, positive person. A lot of times we might feel like or think or look at other people who are like that and see it as almost a weakness or like you're being a doormat. I've heard people say before, like, I don't want to be nice. I have no reason to be nice because I'm not a doormat. I'm not going to let people walk all over me. Well, I personally think there's a huge difference between being nice and being a doormat. You can still be nice and put up a boundary. You can still be nice when you tell someone no. It's all about the energy and the intention that you put behind it. And then think about it. If you have to put up a boundary or you have to tell someone no, someone who's maybe not getting it, you have to tell them no. It's so easy. It's so easy to step into that energy that has a little bit of sarcasm or even full-on rudeness in it. It just kind of comes along with that situation. So it's harder to take a moment, to take a breath, to reset your mindset, your intention, check in with your emotion, maybe with the tone of your voice, and say it nicely, to be civil even. Not even nice, just to be civil, which I think I equate with nice, but I would see that as being civil, just being kind of neutral, and then being nice where the person can pick up a little bit more on that you're trying to be positive, that you're trying to be helpful, but you still have to say no. So know that if you are working on being that high vibration, positive person, that you are incredibly strong and you can only get stronger the more you keep working on that. And that could be why, I'm just hypothesizing here, but that could be why there sometimes seems to be so many people around us who are naturally negative. We get into conversations with people and we start going on about the bad things that have happened in our life or what frustrated us yesterday, which is totally fine. We need to talk about those things. We can't just keep them bottled up inside. But if you know people who are always in that negative energy, everything always sucks, everything's always going to suck, it's easier to be in that energy because that's a low frequency, a low vibration, and it's just easier to maintain that. It's harder to keep your vibration higher. So again, I'm just going to repeat. Know that you are incredibly strong if you are more in a high vibration than a low vibration, and especially if you're continuing to work on that. So don't let anybody tell you that you're weak or you're passive or you're a doormat. I'm not saying to look at it like you're better than anybody. That's not the right vibration to come with. But maybe that you're better than you were personally prior to working on raising your vibration. You are becoming a better person in relation to who you used to be. So let's talk about what it really means when I say, or when you hear other people say that you need to take back your power, own your energy. What does that really mean? It means remembering that at the end of the day, at the end of it all, this is your life. You've heard me say this before. This is your life, and you are the one in control. It doesn't mean that you need to brush off or blow off other people's opinions just because this is your life. There are always consequences to the decisions that we make, and you do need to factor that in. I think it is important and it's courteous to consider how your decisions could affect your loved ones, your family, the people closest to you. But what's important is that you're still also weighing that against how it's going to affect you. The point is that you don't need to be a martyr. You don't need to always make decisions that are only going to benefit other people. If something is truly so much better for you, then it's very likely that you should go with the decision that best benefits you. But I think the point is that if you reach a point in your life where you realize you've only been doing things to please other people, to make other people happy, and you're miserable, you know you're not living your life's purpose, you know you're not as happy as you would like to be, and you know that maybe it's gotten harder for you to find that happiness, to feel peace, you're always stressed. Maybe it's time to take a look at what you can do for you, because what you've been doing is giving your power and your energy away to other people. It's your energy. You get to decide what you do with it first. And let me interject here and say I am not perfect with this at all. I'll go back again and remind you that I'm doing some shadow work around some things right now. And it's helping so much. And I hope one day to be able to confidently offer you the opportunity to do some shadow work with me. But the point is, in one way or another, whether it's through doing shadow work sessions with somebody else, doing shadow work on your own. And shadow work, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not, some people look at it and think like, oh, shadow work, it's scary. It's not. It's literally, this is probably not the most appropriate way to describe it, but this is how I'm going to describe it. It's like doing therapy, but in energy work form. So you essentially could just journal out what you're feeling. That's considered shadow work. You're journaling, getting everything out, and also maybe allowing some answers to come in. I know that when I used to have a prayer journal, which my latest shadow work homework assignment is actually to return to that. But I would start off each of my entries like I was speaking to God, and it was half like diary entry, half venting to God. And through doing that, I know that there were a few times where I would write something that I was frustrated about or that I needed answers on, or I just couldn't figure out the direction to go. And I'm not kidding. I know that it was not me who wrote the answer that followed after that. Obviously, physically, it was my hand that wrote it, but I know that the guidance to write what I was writing was coming from God and not me. Because I looked at it as I was writing it and I felt the weight lift off of my shoulders, and then I went, oh, well, there's my answer. I also had a couple instances where literally my prayers were answered within like the next hour or two, where I had no idea how I was going to figure some things out, and I would get a phone call with the answer and the solution. So something like that can be helpful in helping you to process through what you're going through and figure out what you should be doing, how you can protect your energy, how you can take your energy back, how you can raise your energy, raise your vibration. You can meditate, you can pray, you can go see a therapist. You basically just have to face up to what you've been ignoring and work through it. That's really all it is. But the other thing I want to mention, when I was looking up some of my notes on my phone, where I keep ideas for the podcast and things like that, is I wanted to mention something that I picked up from Darren Hardy, but he has a series called Darren Daly, where every morning, and I've not been good about watching these, but it's on my to-do list that I want to get back to. But he has these videos called Darren Daly. They're like short, 5-minute or less videos to just give you some inspiration, a little kick in the pants every weekday morning. And he's been doing this consistently for a few years now. And I believe he's also turned it into a podcast so you can access them all on demand, because I think they still do this. Part of the deal with the Darren Daly is to get you to watch those videos, which obviously is not working with me, but they disappear after a while. Like, I think after a few days. So you cannot go back and access old videos. They get taken down and you need to stay current. But then you can listen to them on the podcast now, I think. But anyway, that's beside the point. There was one where this particular line stuck out to me, and I think I've heard Tony Robbins say something like this before too. When you're in that negative space and you're maybe playing the victim role, you're in that victim mindset. Why does everything happen to me? Why does everything suck? How come everything never works out for me? That's keeping you in a low vibration. That is you giving your energy and your power away to other people. But here's what he said that I think is worth noting. If you believe others are responsible for your suffering, whether that, and I'm interjecting here, whether others means other people, or if you think God or the universe is out to get you, everything's conspiring against you because things don't work out for you. If you believe others are responsible for your suffering, then you must believe they are responsible for your successes as well. And I think the way Tony Robbins put it was, if you're going to blame other people for all of the shit that has happened to you, you better blame them for the good stuff too. So I don't know your response to that, but what that makes me think, it kind of wakes me up to the idea that we tend to take full responsibility for all of the good and positive things that have happened to us in our life. And then anytime anything negative happens, we find someone, something else to blame. Like, there's a reason, like this person didn't like me, or that mindset of every time I try to do this, it just never works out. Well, first of all, you're projecting that energy into it, is what I would say. So you're getting back what you're putting out. The universe wants to give you, God wants to give you what you're looking for. But first of all, you got to ask. And second of all, you got to be aware of what you're asking, because it goes for all things, not just the positive things. If you're sitting in that low vibration and you're saying things never work out for me, the universe says, oh, okay, things never work out for you. So we'll make sure things never work out for you. And that might sound silly on the surface, but it is so true. You really do get out what you put in. That's not to say that you'll never have good things happen to you if you're always in a negative mindset, but you might view it through a negative mindset. So something good could happen to you and you won't see it as grand of a thing as it is, or the thing that it was meant to do to help pull you out of that. because you're looking at it through that lens of negativity. But the thing is, there has to be a balance. You can't just take responsibility for the good things and blame everybody else for the bad things. So if you're going to blame everybody else or everything else for the bad things, then you got to give the credit to other people when the good things happen too. So what do you want? I think ultimately we want to be responsible, to have the credit for all the things that happen to us. So we've got to own up when we may have brought in something negative. And then that's when it's important to learn how to set boundaries, to know that if we're going to be that high vibe positive person, that everybody is not entitled to our energy. Again, doesn't mean you have to be rude about it and say, you're not entitled to my energy. Maybe in some cases you do. But you do need to protect your energy. It's precious, so treat it like it is. You don't have to give your energy and your power to someone who's just going to suck it all away from you. And that goes for situations too. You get to put your foot down. Easier said than done in some situations, I know. But start practicing with little things, with smaller situations. And that might be your first step in learning to trust your intuition too. If you know something ain't right, go with your gut. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned since I started this journey with starting Reiki, is that the first thing that pops into my head or that first feeling I get in my gut, it's right. We've been taught to ignore that, I think, so much. And it's time to check back in with yourself because you know what's right for you and what isn't. So you raise your vibration, you take back your energy and your power by listening to your intuition and making the decisions that you know in the end are the best for you. But just know that you don't need to be a martyr. You don't need to let someone else lead your path. You don't need to let everyone have access to your energy. And maybe one of the next podcasts, I'll talk a little bit more about how to protect your energy. But in the meantime, I did do in the past, I've done actually, I think a few episodes on putting up boundaries, setting boundaries, and actually enforcing those boundaries. So I think that they are still good episodes and still relevant. I know one of them was very early on, back in the Rockstar Confidence days, but they're still up. So go find them, take a listen if you feel like that could be helpful for you. But I'll do an updated episode that involves also learning how to protect your energy as well. So I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have questions, if you want to share what resonated with you, what you found helpful, please let me know by either jumping into the Energy Within Facebook group and sharing in there. You can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, or best yet, share this episode on your social media. Take a screenshot, do a screen flow, tag me, and then let me know what you liked and what you need more of. I would love to help you work through this in a Reiki session. You can find out more about what Reiki is and how it can help you both on my website. You can take a look at some of the testimonials from people who have done Reiki with me, or you can also listen to the podcast episode I did called What is Reiki? And you can book that right on my website. You can also book just an oracle card reading. So if you do a Reiki session with me, you will always get an oracle card reading. But if you're in a space where you would just like to know where you're headed, what you need to work on, what the potential outcome is, we can do a card reading, and it's all done through email. So you can find the link for that also in the show notes. That one, I give you a little heads up. The way that this is structured is kind of technically in beta. So what should happen is when you go to select either a 3-card or a 7-card reading, once you purchase that, you should get an email that will remind you that it's going to be about 24 to 48 hours. If I can get to it right away, I will, but I need that cushion just in case something comes in on a day where I also have a lot going on. But that email should also prompt you to reply back to me. And that's where you can let me know if you have a specific situation that you would like the card pull done around. You don't have to give me anything super detailed or personal that you don't want to tell me. And I can definitely just do a general pull, but I can do a more detailed interpretation for you if I know what the card pull specifically is around. If you don't get that email, please let me know, and you can do that by sending me a message on Instagram or Facebook. That would probably be the best and quickest way to let me know. So I appreciate your patience and your grace with that, because this is my first time setting up something like that. So I'm so appreciative that you're here. I'm so grateful for you. I can't wait to work with you if we haven't worked together yet. Thank you so much, as always, for listening, and I will see you for episode 100 very soon.